folks, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. So this week I'm doing one palette for the entire week, and the palette that I'm using is the Urban Decay Moondust palette. And we're getting close to New Year's, where I tend to just put like all the glitter on my face, and so I wanted to use this for a week, just something fun, festive through the holidays, and then, you know, you guys can use these looks if you happen to have this palette for New Year's. Typically when I use a palette for a week, I use just the eyeshadows in the palette to sort of challenge myself creatively. This palette I will, however, have to bring sort of like outsider eyeshadows in, just because I feel like this is more designed to be sort of an additive to your makeup collection already. If you don't have the exact shades that I'm using, you can always use shades that are really close in your collection, and I'm sure it will look awesome. So if you guys ever recreate looks that I do, please tag me in them or send them to my email. My email's down below. You can tag me on Instagram, that kind of thing. I love seeing what you guys recreate. I think it's awesome. But yeah, if you guys want to know how to do this look, then just stay tuned and here's the tutorial. Alright, so today we're obviously going to be using the Moondust palette, and I'm going to be using a couple of the shades out of this palette, so I'm going to talk about those first. So the shades that I'm using today are going to be Vega, as well as Galaxy, and then a little bit of Spectre as well. So those three, pulling more of a blue smoky eye. And so then for the other eyeshadows that I do have to pull in from other palettes, I decided to use the Myeyeshadowisod Neutral Matte, as well as just one of the shades from the Dark Matte palette. So I am looking to use a couple palettes that I've used in the past to bring in different shadows, just because the Moondust palettes really can't be used on their own. Alright, so then for brushes, I'm using a large fluffy brush just to put a color all over my lid. I'm using two 217s, one for some of the warmer shades, and then one for a bit of the blue that I'm using later on. And then I'm just using a synthetic brush. This just happens to be one, I think it's from the Modern Renaissance palette, just to apply the Moondust shadows right on the lid. So to start off, we're just going to take that sort of neutral shade, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lid, all the way up to the brow bone as well. And then just with the 217, I'm going to be going into this shade, and I'm also going to use this one. I think I said this one, but I used those three. I kind of looked at it backwards. So I just went into the lid with this one, into the crease with this one, and then darkened up the crease a little bit with this one. They don't have names, so I kind of have to point at them like that. Alright, so I'm just going to darken up the crease with the second darkest color there. And then with that applied, I'm just going to darken up the outer corner slightly. Just using the same brush, going into the darker brown. And I'm just going to focus this just right on sort of the outer V of the eye, in sort of 1/3 of the crease. Alright, so then that's it for the Neutral Matte palette. So next I'm going to go into the dark mattes. I'm going to use a dark navy sort of blue color. And I'm just going to get the tiniest bit of this, just because I want to put it just right below my crease, because we're adding the blue there. I wanted it to be a little bit more diffused into the brown, just because I'm putting that blue shade from the Moondust palette there. And so I wanted it to not be sort of like a break of color between the brown and the blue. And so this kind of acts as a little bit of a transition shade between the glitter and the brown. Alright, so next we're moving into the Moondust palette. There are a couple ways that you can apply these. You can use your fingers to sort of press them into more of a sticky base. That works really well. You can use them with a dampened brush like Fix Plus and put them on. I find that works good as well. You can also use a glitter glue and then press them on. That's pretty much going to get the longest lasting power. Something like the Lit Cosmetics little glitter stuff, or the Too Faced glitter glue, which I'm planning on picking up soon because I really want to try that. Those ones would work really well to adhere them as well. But what I like to do is I like to just use Fix Plus and a synthetic brush. And so I'm just going to dampen up my brush, and then I'm going to go into Vega. And then these work really, really well wet. And so I'm just going to just apply that all over the lid, leaving a little bit of a gap on the inner corner. And I find if you use them wet, it sort of prevents a lot of fallout that these tend to have. Like, you will be cleaning up fallout with this, like there's no doubt. So just be mindful of that. And then just to make it a little bit more sparkly, what I do is I take my finger into the part of the eyeshadow that's dry, and I just press that on top. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring all the glitter that sort of gets lost when you make it into sort of a paste. It's going to bring that forward and really make that nice and dramatic. Alright, so then I'm going to just take the same brush and I'm going to go into Galaxy and basically do the same thing. I'm going to apply this all right onto the inner corner. Then this shade is going to get applied right underneath my bottom eyelashes as well. And then I'm going to go back into the shade that we used right here on the eye, just take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to run that right underneath my bottom eyelashes. It's going to kind of tie everything together. And then just taking the brush once I've cleaned it off, I'm going to go into a little bit of this pink right here, which is Spectre. just to add a little bit of a different sheen to the inner corner. And I'm just going to apply that just on top of the color that we already have there. And this mixed with the blue is kind of going to make like a really cool like cotton candy kind of inner corner effect. It's really neat. These layer and mix really well together, so if you happen to have this palette, just like try mixing some of the shades together, because you can make like light lilac purple by mixing the blue and the pink. It's really fun thing to just sort of play around with. Next I'm just going to line my waterline with a little bit of black eyeliner. And then I'm going to do a pretty heavy coat of mascara. I'm not going to do false eyelashes with this look because I actually like the way it looks with just my natural eyelashes. It's obviously something that you could do. You could add false eyelashes if you wanted more of a dramatic look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, come back and show you how to finish up the rest of the face. I realized that I accidentally applied my face products off camera, but what I use is pretty typical. You guys know I don't really change up face products too much. My contour is NYX Taupe Blush, and then my blush is Milani's Luminosa, so that's pretty much what I use in most of my videos. So then for lips, there's different ways that you could go with this. If you're doing it for sort of like a holiday look and you wanted to do like full glam, you could definitely do like a dark blue lip and apply that like blue pigment on top. That would look amazing. Or you could do sort of a nude lip. That would look really pretty as well. I'm kind of going in the middle. I don't know how this might look, but I'm gonna try this. This is the NYX Liquid Suede in the color Brooklyn Thorn. I really like pairing more cool tone lipsticks with blues and things like that. I just think it looks good. Let me know if this is something that you'd pair with it. So I did want to use this palette this week just to play with a lot of like glittery, sparkly looks that you guys could use for holiday parties or whatnot, get-togethers and New Year's as well. I always wear like a shit ton of glitter on New Year's. I think I've done that for the last like 10 years. I just put like glitter and as much glitter on my face for New Year's because this palette is great for getting sparkle on the eye, but without using, I guess, like chunky glitter. Also, this is eye safe, so you know, it's a nice way to put glitter and sparkle on the eye, but like you're not gonna blind yourself. So please just always be careful if you are looking to apply glitter on the eye. Just make sure that it's something that's eye safe. Make sure that you're using like a really strong adhesive, and just be careful. Be very, very, very careful. I'm super, super worried about people like losing their eyeballs to glitter. Read a really horrible like Reddit forum about a lady who actually lost an eyeball because she got glitter, like craft glitter, in her eyeball. It's horrifying. So this is one way that you can use sparkle on the eye to make like really pretty looks, but then you know, you're hopefully not going to lose an eyeball because of it. I do have a lot of days off coming in the holiday season, so leave me whatever you want in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it. But yeah, hopefully everyone is doing good, and until my next video, I'll talk to all you soon. Bye!